Hari Om, Jai Guru. Madhya Hridayakashe Chidanandamayo Guruhu Udetu Satatam Samyak Ajnanatimirarunaha Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunmandi Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sankapada-kramo Upanishadaihi Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyanavastita-tatkatena manasa Pashyantiyam yogino Yashyantam na vidushura-shuragana Devaya tasmai namaha Om Shri Paramatmane namaha Athashtadashodhyaya. So this is Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. That is liberation, renunciation, and of course it deals with the supreme secret, which we will see when we, take up, when we go almost in the, after 18th or 19th sloka, the supreme secret is so nicely revealed. So this moksha sannyasa, this is the 18th chapter. So this moksha call is coming. Okay. This moksha has to be understood very clearly because there are, in many ways, it can be explained. Here, the moksha or liberation is which is getting liberated and from where? So this is the question. And see, we have studied everything is that. Then where is the question of getting liberated? The world as well as Vishnu, Vishwam Vishnu, everything is that alone. Alone is that. There is no individuals or separate individuals. Everything is that only. So who is getting liberated from whom? That's what we are going to see. So the first question itself, Arjuna wants Krishna to clarify the concepts of sannyasa and tyaga. It's a very, at this stage, it's an excellent question. Really, what is sannyasa and what is tyaga? Actually, right from the 5th chapter, regarding sannyasa, Krishna has been emphasizing right from the 5th chapter. What he says, it is an inner evolution, enrichment, radiating strength, vigor, and stability. All these things, the enlightenment alone can bestow. This point we will see. Because the enlightenment alone can bestow all these things, means what? That inner renunciation. So this renunciation, it is not an external development. But it is there in our practice. Because all the four ashrams, if we take, right from Brahmacharya, Grahata, then Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa, it's there. So finally, one has to plunge into this sannyasa, and all the spiritual seeking starts. So it's all there. So there, that we call as sannyasa, where we go away from the family, take the that kavi vastra, and systematically it is done. Take diksha also of sannyasa diksha and from a guru. These are all that. This is traditional sannyasa, and it is it's a fact. So which is described in all the scriptures. There is no doubt. But here let us see what Krishna says. See, the seeker has to evaluate what aspects in his personality really act and move. What are the aspects which really act and move? Senses do act and interact. Of course, mind and intelligence also do. In fact, because of them only senses act. But beyond these three, what are the three? Senses, mind and intelligence. Beyond these three, there is a core. There, no action or its consequences reach there. It is inaccessible to worldliness. See, all these actions, whatever we call, they are mere modifications on the surface. Knowledge and realization what can you say? The knowledge and realization of this fundamental truth. That means the senses, mind and intelligence, they act, and beyond this, there is a presence inaccessible to the world, and it doesn't, and no action or the results reach there. So this fundamental truth, knowledge and clear understanding of this fundamental truth will alone lead to sannyasa. This point we have to see very clearly. A knower is a sannyasi at heart. Action is true of senses, mind and intelligence. Non-action is true of one's inmost soul. When the understanding of this non-acting inmost soul clearly, when this understanding reflects in the mind, then only will dawn true inner sannyasa in the seeker. So such inner renunciation is a gift of spiritual enlightenment. Exactly what it means, inner renunciation, when we call. Just now we saw senses, mind and intellect, they act. And the innermost soul, it doesn't take part in any actions. So, the action, this also we have seen right from third chapter. It takes place because of the three gunas, including the ego. Ego, what we say, when I think that I am the body, that we call as ego. That thought itself is created by tamoguna. We don't think it. So this has to be understood very clearly. And the rajoguna projects the world, and this tamoguna thinks I am seeing the world. This is what is happening. And these three gunas are what? They are part of Prakriti. In fact, main parts of Prakriti. Prakriti is nothing but the creation of the ultimate, what we call, the Brahma or Atman. So it's all just happens, just like in our dream. Our mind alone projects. And dreamer, if the dream is good, he enjoys. Otherwise, he feels, miserable. And after getting up, he is free. Because getting up means what? The dreamer becomes a waker. During dream, he forgot that he was a waker a few hours before. So that is the problem. Similarly here, we have forgotten our real, that Swarupa. I am Atma, no, I don't act. This is forgotten. So, the ego created by the gunas, it feels, when the action interacts with the world, it is sometimes it feels good, sometimes miserable. When it is miserable, it feels like, no, I must take sannyasa and get away from the world, like that. So the clear understanding of the self or Atma, it as the dreamer, when he becomes a waker, whatever happens in the dream, it is not, he doesn't question at all. Same thing here. Once the forgotten real self is clearly understood or seen or experienced, as in samadhi and all, the clarity comes. So things will go on happening. Ramana uses the word summa. Summa means not physically. Physically, even now, whatever is happening, we are not doing. I am I'm all the time, I am keeping still. That is my real nature. So whatever is happening, let it just happen. How it happens? So in Srimad Bhagavatam, what is his name? When Nimi discusses with the Navayogis, one of the yogis, Kavi, he explains Bhagavad Dharma. And in every occasion we chant this. Ayena vacha, manasendriya vaidya, buddhyatmanava, prakrite svabhavat, karoma yadhyat sakalam parasme, narayanaye samarpayami. Actually, the actual ending is samarpyetat. It is dedicated to Narayanan, means what? The entire world, everything it is. So it is all happening. Whatever is done by my body, the words, and my mind, because of what? Prakriti is Swabhava. I am not doing. Prakriti is Swabhavas. It only does everything. Again, third chapter, we have seen this, 27th verse, many times. Prakriti Kriyamanani. Like that, and the 19th chapter, 14th, very frequently we have discussed. In fact, that 19th chapter, 14th is the main thing which one should understand clearly. So Prakriti Swabhavat, whatever is done is dedicated to Narayana. Means what? It's all happening. So it's all happening because of Narayana. So it's all, whether you want or not, it is dedicated. It is for him only. It's all being done. This clarity is very, very. Then what happened? Summa means the seeking stops. That's what Ramana means. Body will go on doing. That means இருக்கும் இடத்தில் இருக்கிறோம். I am there. I am Atma. I am all the time. I am there. The body related thing. they செலுத்தும் வழியில் செல்லுகிறது. How it goes? Because of gunas. And we are not doing anything. So it's all happened. Because of gunas, it is taken or it is made to act in various ways. And let it be going on. So, இருக்கும் இடத்தில் இருக்கிறோம், செலுத்தும் வழியில் செல்கிறது. It's all happening. So, சும்மா இரு. No seeking. It's all happening. The real I is not involved at all. That also we saw, which is nothing but Atman. So, this is the crux of this 18th chapter. You can call it secret or whatever it is. This is enlightenment. There is no, in fact, doing any of these spiritual activities means what we have not understood. Things are, that is the final truth is not understood clearly. So continue doing. See, other things are happening because of gunas. Right from the morning, getting up, chanting whatever prayers we are used to, it goes on. I'm not doing. It's all because of this guna. Whatever is happening, it continues to go. So the seeking totally stops because the real I, it doesn't need seeking, but because of our, we have been doing, so many things, we are used to that. So the gunas makes us continue that. So it is, so we have no even seeking. If it is due to guna, let it just happen. I am all the time that, and this goes on. This is what is real renunciation. Renunciation means we are not bothering about this. Even the so-called the gunas, it becomes at the highest level. So that Suddha Sattvika state. So then the seeking automatically stops because things are clear. This is renunciation. Otherwise, we all the time planning. No, we must go and do all these things. Again, because of gunas, that should be understood. It will continue to do. Selattum vazhiyil sellattum means what? Let it. So this is the final, the truth which one has to understand. Once it is understood, the renunciation is automatic. So when the understanding of this non-acting inmost soul, if it is clearly, if it reflects in the mind, that's what we saw, then will dawn true inner sannyasa in the seeker. So these two will just the knower, he knows that I am all the time unaffected, I am just be there as a non-dual presence. And the things in me are happening because of the gunas, again, which is my own creation. So this is the clear understanding. So this is the so-called renunciation. No activity is needed. And this is only, that's why some people call it, what is that? Observing only, pure observing. As a, so the seeker becomes seer. Seer means just because it's all happening in my presence, it's continuously witnessed. So this is the final truth. And so just things are happening. I am all the time remaining still. So this is the final, this one, which, because it is all inner developments. That is, we frequently see that 5 Vedantic capsules. I am of the nature of eternal and pure consciousness. Therefore, I am the only source of peace, happiness, and security. In my presence, the world appears, and whatever is happening in the world or in the various bodies, they don't affect me at all. So this is the fact, because I am that. So, with this, the clarity, the life becomes almost, life is an entertainment. But if this knowledge is not there, it is seen as a burden. Life is a burden. So this is the thing. This is whenever this sort of the enlightenment, the seeker, when he attains and becomes a knower, so this automatically, the seeking stops, and this is true renunciation of all actions, and what is that? The results of action, everything. Otherwise, when we start this 18th chapter, first these are rather defined. And when we slowly get into the 18th chapter, one by one, all these things will be so nicely revealed. And so after 18th chapter, probably we will not be, nothing will be required to go through what is that, seeing other literatures and all these things. If at all it is happening, let it happen because of gunas. So this clarity, when it dawns, it's a real enlightenment, you can call it, or renunciation, whatever is called. So this is the secret which is going to be revealed in this chapter. So let us start now one by one. So before that, see, what is the in short, if you have to say, the doership and enjoyership totally vanishes. This is what is taught right from the beginning in any scripture or Bhagavad Gita. Doership and enjoyership. Kartritvam, bhoktritvam. That means what I am doing, I am enjoying. That totally drops because of the clear understanding of my real Swarupa. So, and see, within probably 2-3 verses, this can be explained, but it won't stay in the mind. That's why so many 18 chapters are required. In different angle, this particular, the truth has to be explained from various angles. So the Arjuna's question is excellent. He says, he asks, 18th chapter. Let me read the first sloka. Arjuna uvacha sannyasasya mahabaho tattvamichhami veditum tyagasya cha rishikesha pradakesi nishudana. Sannyasasya mahabaho tattvamichhami veditum tyagasya cha rishikesha pradakesi nishudana. So Arjuna asks, mighty armed Krishna, the destroyer of Keshi, he is addressed in so many ways. This is one of them. So what he says, I desire to know the true nature of sannyasa and tyaga distinctly. And this is probably, of course, in between, I don't know whether he asked. Last question in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks. This is a question raised by Arjuna. So this question is the seed for the 18th chapter. So Arjuna's question is what? Regarding sannyasa or renunciation. And this renunciation is one topic which has been actually bugging Arjuna's mind. And he seemed to have a special interest in sannyasa in this context. Because initially he didn't want to fight, especially his grandfather and Guru, Dronacharya. So he probably at that time, his interest was to get away from this war field and be a sannyasi. But of course, everybody will get interest in sannyasa at certain moment when there are problems. So traditional meaning of sannyasa is physically giving up everything by going through religious ritual and taking to monastic life or becoming a monk. And by taking to such a life, a person is free from all the worldly duties, including religious rituals under the third. So, no more family duties, no more community duties, social duties. And the scriptures give him probably a special exemption. For what? For the sake of one purpose. And the purpose is that that person is going to exclusively pursue Vedanta, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Only under that condition, that is, he should spend the rest of his life only in the spiritual pursuit. And if he has attained the spiritual enlightenment, thereafter also he dedicates his life for spreading the spiritual knowledge which he has gained. So for the sake of study of spiritual teaching or spreading of spiritual knowledge, an exclusive lifestyle like this sannyasa, Shastra allows. And it is this sannyasa called ashrama sannyasa, that is the fourth one. This is the popular and correct meaning of sannyasa also. But Krishna gave a new definition to sannyasa, which is totally different from the traditional or conventional definition. What is that? A monastic life in which a person gives up everything and leaves home. Krishna's definition is karma yoga itself. That is the real sannyasa. The karma yoga way of life followed by grahastha is sannyasa. If karma yoga is followed by grahastha, that is the real sannyasa. In the 6th chapter, in the first 2 verses, Krishna said that monastic person is not a real sannyasi. Mere that thought of kavi dress is not a person with that, is not a sannyasi. He said that a grahastha who gives up strong raga Dvesha is sannyasa. So that is the real sannyasa. So he will explain slowly all these points. Krishna. What is that 18, the second sloka of 18th chapter? Again, it's almost Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarvakarma Phalathyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshana Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarvakarma Phalathyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshana. So Bhagavan said, sages regard the renunciation of desire-born actions as sannyasa. Some sages, the learned people, declare that the renunciation of the results of action is tyaga. So they defined that renunciation is what? Of desire-born actions as sannyasa. Renunciation of this as sannyasa. Desire-born actions. Kamya karma. The learned people, they declare the renunciation of results of action as tyaga. This is what this sloka says. So Bhagavan begins to give his answer from this verse. That is in the second and third verses. Lord Krishna gives the opinion of some sages or some scholars. These are not the views of Sri Krishna, but these are the views of some scholars, and the Lord Krishna is going to disagree with them, at least partially. Therefore, from the fourth sloka or fourth verse, we will know the clear answer. But Krishna here gives the answer according to some other scholars. In the Shastras, karmas are divided into 5 types. See, this is not given, but it is good to know this, because in other further verses, we have to see this. So the karmas, karma number 1 is called Vihita karma, compulsory duties. Number 2, Kamya karma, optional activities. You can choose to be taken to if you want to. Optional activities, these are. And number 3, Nishida karma, prohibited activities. Number 4 is Prayachitta karma. Prayachitta karma, that is remedial activities, an action done to remedy a Nishida karma. That is, we would have done some activities, prohibited activity. So for that, a remedial activity is Prayachitta karma. And number 5, which is the final one, Naimittika karma, occasional duties when the situation arises. So these are the 5 duties. Based on that, some people differentiate sannyasa and tyaga. How do they differentiate? Some scholars say kamyanam karmanam nyasam sannyasam. Renunciation is given up of 4 types of karma. That is, 4 types of karma are given up. That is, these people call us sannyasam or renunciation. So here the 4 type mean other than the first type. And what is tyaga? According to the scholars, sarva karma palatyagam. So karma tyaga is sannyasa and karma palatyaga is tyaga. Sarva karma, here sarva means all, that 1 to 5 which we saw just above. Without expecting any award or reward. That is called tyaga. Who says kavyaha or vichakshanaha? Kavyaha means learned people. Vichakshana means enlightened people. So these are not Krishna's views, but this is the view of some scholars. So from 4th, Krishna will start giving his views. So we will go to the 3rd one. These are all similar. Tyajam doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadhana tapah karma natyajamiti chapare. Tyajam doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadhana tapah karma natyajamiti chapare. So some thinkers declare that action is to be renounced as evil, whereas some others declare that activity in the form of yajna, charity and austerity, yajna, dana, thapa, should not be given up. So some thinkers declare that action is to be renounced as they are all evil. Some others, you can't give up all. This yajna, dana, tapa is always required, should not be given. So one group of people say karma tyaga, all karmas should be given up. That is number 1 to 5. Not only kamya karma, nishida, prayachitta, but even the nitya and naimittika karma should be given up. Only when we give up all the karmas, we can pursue spiritual activities totally. Thus, some scholars say, therefore Krishna says, Eke Manishana. Some scholars, learned people, who say karma tyajyam, any karma is to be all given up. Why? Doshavad. Because karmas are these duties when they are taken up, there will be stress and strain in the mind. Doshavat. Duty means, all this duty means mainly worry. That's what this doshavat is mentioned. It is full of dosha. Dosha means stress and strain and the tension. Eke manishina prahu. Therefore, what is their conclusion? Even nitya naimittika karma should be given up. This is their view. Whereas there is another group which says yajna dana tapat karma natyajyam. The first and the fifth one means vihita karma and naimittika karma. Nitya naimittika karmas. That is your family duties, your personal duties, social duties should never be given up. That is yajna, dhanam and tapa. So activities which are meant in the form of service to others, these are, that is yajna, dana, tapa. So your service to family, service to society, and all this in previous, this should not be given up. In the previous verse, it is said, giving up of karma is sannyasa, and giving up of karma phalam is tyaga. That is tyaga. And in the giving up of karma also, partial giving up is sannyasa according to some people. Total giving up of karma is sannyasa according to second group. These are the various opinions. But even if it is not understood, that is whatever they say, as it is, it doesn't matter. Because it is opinion of other people. What is important here is to understand Krishna's views. So we will see from the fourth verse, which we will see right now. Fourth verse. Nischayam shrunime tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyagra trivita samprakirtitah. Nischayam shrunime tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyagra trivita samprakirtitah. Oh Arjuna, listen to my verdict regarding renunciation. Renunciation is indeed said to be threefold, O Arjuna. Here, Bharata Sattama, Krishna is addressing Arjuna. Sat means a noble person. We saw earlier, I think in 17th chapter. Sattama is the superlative degree of this Sat, like a noble, nobler, and noblest. So, noblest among all these people, Bharata Sattama. So, he says he is the noblest among the descendants of Bharata. Bharata Vamsa are the. Then he says, Bharata Sattama Shrunu, may you carefully listen to me. What? May Nishchayam, my verdict with regard to Sannyasa and Tyaga. And according to Krishna, Sannyasa and Tyaga are synonymous. And therefore, Krishna disagrees from the previous group of people, because the previous group differentiated these two. Karma Tyaga is sannyasa and Karma Palatyaga is Tyaga. That is, renunciation of karma is sannyasa, renunciation of karma phala is tyaga. Such a difference, a small shade they made. According to Krishna, there is no shade of difference. Sannyasa is equal to tyaga. Tyaga is equal to sannyasa. Both mean renunciation. Then the next question is, what is the definition of this renunciation, which is called tyaga? Krishna says this renunciation is threefold. He addresses again Arjuna. Purusha Vyagraha. So Purusha Vyagraha, the greatest among human beings. Tyagaha Trividha Samprakirtitaha. Renunciation is threefold. That is Tyagaha Trividha, which means sannyasa Trividha, threefold. So next three verses are two verses, 5 and 6. They are very important, general principles. So in Vedic teaching, this it's all now. These 5 and 6, they are worth remembering. So 5th verse. Yajnadhanatapah karma tyajam karyameva tat yajno dhanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishina. Yajnadhanatapah karma natyajam karyameva tat yajno dhanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishina. Activity in the form of yajna, charity and austerity, yajna, dana, tapa, should not be given up. It has to be performed necessarily. This yajna, charity and austerity are purifiers to the devout people. That is the reason it should not be given up. So, yajna, dana, tapa, natyajyam. That is, these three, yajna, dana and tapa. So, natyajam, never give up. On the other hand, karyam eva, it has to be done. Wherever you are, whichever part of the world you live. Because these are the three prominent disciplines which will prepare anybody, prepare you for spiritual knowledge. Yajna, dana, tapa. If you value spiritual knowledge, you should value the preparation also. And if you value the preparation, you have to value these three, yajna, dana, tapa. Therefore, Krishna says, yajna, danam, tapaschaiva. These three fundamental religious practices are pavanani. Pavanani means purifiers of the mind. Purifiers of the mind. And what is meant by purification? removal of all the emotional obstacles to Vedantic study. Yajnadana Tapaschaiva. All these three are purifiers for whom Manishinam, for the human being, intelligent human being. So these three should not be given up because they are purifiers. It is a very important point. The purifiers means, otherwise, see that's why they for preparing for any spiritual study, we have so many practices which are to be understood right from what we most of us know is Viveka and Vairagya. These are the stepping stones. Like that, there are a few more. So this, unless it is practiced, means understood and applied in day-to-day life, the mind will not get that, required purification. That is, it cannot understand what any of these scriptures say. So many questions will arise, especially Viveka and Vairagya. Once these two are clearly understood, automatically the Viveka will work, and Vairagyam it will follow automatically, and its effect one can see once we start this spiritual studies, and we start practice and listen to, and in satsang or wherever it is, so we can feel that the purificatory effects, whatever we were attracted to, all this attraction will, without our effort, they will not they will not have any effect on us. But 50 years back, whatever we were attracted to, they will just drop. So going to some places, buying certain thing, and seeing so many documentaries, films, and all these things. We can, even though we will see, but it doesn't attract us. There is time we will see. So that is a sort of thing. Even food and all, it is there well and good. Otherwise, we can manage. That is, it doesn't disturb us. Absence of any of these things. See, this is the progress. We need not take effort to do all these things. Automatically, they can drop. We might have, that's observed these things. Or our friends have, if they meet after 4 or 5 years, they will be surprised to see, oh, I see now, oh, you don't give so much importance for these things. So that sort of, questions will come. So it is not with our effort. Initially, probably they may be required. But once we start and getting into the groove, all these things we see that they don't attract us. So one more we'll see, and then because from next verse we will see the real definition of renunciation. 6. Etyanyapi tu karmani sangam tekva phalani cha kartavyani me partha nishchitam matamuttamam. Etyanyapi tu karmani sangam tekva phalani cha kartavyani me partha nishchitam matamuttamam. Renouncing attachment and the results, these actions alone are to be performed. This is my considered and the best teaching, O Arjuna. This is the direct meaning of this verse. So, Arjuna, he says, you must remember, basic religious activity one has to do. What are they? Etani karmani. These three important religious disciplines. What are they? Yajna, dana, tapa. Kartavyani. You have to necessarily practice. Kartavyam, kartavyani. You have to necessarily practice. And when you practice them, what should be our attitude? Sangam taktva. We should not get attached to what? That is, that sangam means attachment. Even to religious karma, we should not get attached, because later, after purification, we have to renounce them also. So therefore, religious activities are important, but we should not get attached even to them. So we have to treat them as sadhana, not as an end in itself. Therefore, sangam tyaktva, without attachment, and phalanicha, according to the scriptures, yajna, dana, tapa, these three religious disciplines, they can produce two types of punyam. One punyam is called spiritual punyam, another is material punyam. If you have to enjoy material comforts, you require some punyam. So yajna, dana, tapam can produce material punyam also. And next, other one is spiritual punyam. Spiritual punyam will not give you material benefits. On the other hand, it will produce internal benefits, like we have seen, that chapter 13 chapter. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, shanti, all these spiritual punyams we will get. And similarly on 16th chapter, abhayam, sattva samsuddhihi, these are all, we call the daivi sampad. Recently we saw. Thus, yajna, dana, tapa can give us inner transformation. It is not only this, another type of spiritual punyam. What is that? It will provide us with a competent guru. For that also we need punyam. Krishna says you have to choose between the two, and therefore do not choose material punyam. Phalani tyaktva. Phalani means material punyam. You do not ask for that. Do not ask for worldly benefits, because that will come and go. And you can earn and so encash yajna, dana, tapa for what? The spiritual punyam. So all this material benefit we can earn, and through yajna, dana, tapa we have to do for spiritual punyam. Sangam tyaktva phalanicha kartavyani. So in a different way, we might have, most of us would have seen this. It is in Viveka Chudamani. Durlabam rajyamevyat ye devan anugrahan hetukam manushyanam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samsrayah. That is, Sankaracharya, he tells in Viveka Chudamani, being born a human being requires punyam, and developing interest in spirituality requires greater punyam, and having a conducive atmosphere to fulfill our spiritual urge requires tremendous punyam. So So let us do yajna, dana and tapa karma. Idi nishchidam madam uttama. This is my considered verdict. Nishchidam matam. So Krishna says, what is my considered verdict? Krishna says, us. One should not give up these three. Not only he should follow these three, he should utilize these three for spiritual purpose rather than material benefits. Having made this general observation, Krishna now going to talk about the three types of renunciation from the 7th verse onwards. So we will stop here. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.